it's like we got friends. Everybody has friends and people around them that's going through all kind of whatever mess. It doesn't even have to be nothing. It can be as simple as this person just always just doing reckless stuff. They could be broke and they always just spending their money, and they hit you up and hey, I need to borrow this, I need this, and I need that. Drika just said it. You can't help that person till they recognize that they got a problem themselves and then want help. Couple years, almost 2 years ago, my little brother passed away, and one of his complications was severe depression, and it hit me in a way like hell no, he ain't died from no damn depression. Like that didn't even make sense in my brain that my brother passed away from depression. Like I didn't even think that was a thing to pass away from.
You know why?
No, go ahead, tell me.
People die, and to see Veronica, I don't know if you ever saw this on the diagnosis, but it was crazy to see somebody diagnosed with a broken heart like that, a broken heart. And so
I can understand that.
It was a physician that pulled me to the side. He said, "Let me holler at you, Drew." He said the diagnosis, because I thought it was funny. I was like, broken heart, like not CHF, not diabetes, not, no, people die from a broken heart because it's like a snowball effect. The broken heart is this: a situation happened that I couldn't overcome. So I began to drink, smoke, internalize emotions, can't come out of it. So what it did was stop my entire body's process. It did. Depression slows down you become constipated because you depressed.
Yep.
Girl, you can't constipation, you can't eat, you can't, like you just don't have an appetite. You feel what I'm saying? So I definitely understand it. Like when I experienced my son passed, like I had never, you know what I'm saying, my heart had, you know what I'm saying, like you always hear about your heart aching or my heart hurt,
right,
that type of stuff like that. But no, like it actually ache, like your hand aches or your foot aches or anything, like you actually feel your heart aching. It just aches and it's just there. It's just there. You just don't, it's nothing like you can really do about it or say about it. It just hurts. It just hurts so bad.
right.
It just
And when
hurts.
he explained it to me, he was just basically saying that, you have no family history of diabetes or anything, but depression has slowed down all your body's functions. It has caused these triggers. It has caused you to end up going into this spiral. And he said, so this is how you die of a broken heart. It was a situation that caused your life to change. You internalize, you begin to basically self-medicate. You self-medicating is destroying your liver. And so when they cannot get to the root cause of the issue, it's you died of a broken heart. That's what it is. That's why most people who are married couples, we find that they die, they've been married for so long. You'll find that the spouse die in a few months after that, or a year or so after that, the next spouse died. Boom,
Right.
broken heartedness. So we have to understand that life happens. We just have to make the conscious effort, having an adaptive, another way to cope. A lot of us deal with things because we failed at having coping mechanisms. We believe that self-medicating is a coping
It's the best
mechanism.
way, and it's
Well,
not.
because that's all we was taught. That's all. We wasn't taught anything different. We wasn't taught to go seek help. I hate this phrase. He's a grown ass man or she's a grown ass woman, and just let them just be destructive. Like you want to step in and help, but oh no, you got other people around like, no, that's a grown person. You know what I'm saying? Let that grown man handle his business or do it his way or do it her way. Like that bothers me to the core, because you could step in and say something to that person that might help them, but you just leaving them in the dark. That don't do them no service at all. Like you adding to the problem. You're not helping. And so I have a question. Say again. enabling.
have enablers too. It goes
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
those enablers. Like I have this friend, the mother, you have a 43-year-old son that continues to you have reckless relationships. You're not trying to better yourself, but you meet women and it's the same, you know, situation. And then you have the mother that's okay with, well, he can just come back home. At some point, I have two boys, especially, boy, if you're wrong, you're wrong. At some
Exactly.
point, you have to hold people accountable.
Accountable.
And enablers cause people to continue to live in their self-destructive attitudes, and until, at the end of the day, I would say the enabler is as much at fault for a person's destructive behavior than that person themselves.
You played a role in it. They definitely played a role in it. So I got a question
And
for
you gotta be able to take ownership too. People don't take ownership. You can hold as many people accountable for a million things, but if they don't own it, it's like it just slips away from
Right.
them. They don't want to take any ownership in anything. They don't want to own it. They can't say, well, yeah, I was messed up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm apologizing for what I did, or how it made you feel. People really don't take ownership. They just throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's part of depression too. You can't even recognize that you in a funk. You can't recognize that, I'm playing a major part in this. And if I just get out of my own way, I might be able to get some help. I might be able to progress
Right.
and start the healing. So Veronica, she's in healthcare, and I know, and I hope I'm not giving it away, but you got plans on opening your own healthcare facility here in the future. What are you putting in place for patients that you might see, or people? Because I know you got several different initiatives.
Mhm.
What are you putting emphasis on for dealing with depression and anxiety for those that you're going to be caring for in the future?
Right now, my first population that I'm going to serve is the veteran community. And I know exactly what they need from experience. And so like, it's a collective of things, I should say, me being, before I've been a homeless veteran, dealt with abuse and different vices. And so what I have in place, just making someone, making sure they're heard, their needs are met. I've collaborated with a lot of social workers here in Dallas with the VA hospital, just making sure that as soon as they're admitted to me into, my facility, my care, whatever their needs, that everything is in place for them to be able to thrive after that. And so counseling sessions, making sure they are compliant in medications that they may need. I'm also tapping into transportations back and forth to those appointments. Also providing shelter for homelessness. So also sending out home attendants, like even someone in the comfort of their home, they have housing, all of that. Sometimes they just need a little help with medications or cleanliness, because we know when our minds are cluttered, that's what it looks like around us as well.
Mhm.
And
Very
so
true.
I think that's my start in that.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
So Tamika,
Yeah.
and again, my condolences for the loss of your son.
My
Thank you.
condolences.
How are you coping with it, and what are you trying to do more, because you can only do so much? And again, you did what you could for him. A person only knows what they know and what they're gonna do. They can tell
Right.
you whatever, but sometimes our mind is just made up, and you can say, the will of God or just the human being himself. We have the power of will, and we're gonna do whatever we want to do, no matter what. How are you coping with the loss of your son, and what measures or steps are you taking to make sure your other three kids are not victim to that?
Um, well, as for myself, I feel like I say, it's been a learning process for me. You know what I'm saying? I have to do. I think what I try my best to do is I focus on the good in my life, and he was absolutely great in my life. Um, I had him for 21 years, and I'm thankful I had him that long. I'm thankful because, I've seen stories where people lost their children at 11 and 12 and 13, that type of thing. Uh, I don't think I will. I think where I am, right now, excuse me, I'm sorry. I think where I am right now is I was just in a different place in my life. So I see things differently. I look at them differently. I know that what he was going through had nothing to do with me because I spoke with him. I talked to him. I asked him what I could do better for him or what I could have done better for him. You know what I'm saying? So those were things that I was able to do before he did decide to leave. Um, Now, like I say, I want to talk to people. You know what I'm saying? Drika spoke on, how she had her moments of suicidal thoughts, and she just didn't want to be here. You feel me? So I think that I want to speak to people and let them know that, just talk. If it's someone you can talk to, do that. Like, I want parents to pay attention to their children. you know um right now, like, I meditate. I try to find healthy ways to cope. I started, working out, taking walks, and I try to keep myself being progressive. You know what I'm saying? Like, doing little things that I wanted to get done, or attempting to get done. I find myself throwing myself into those things instead of um, staying stuck in that space. And that space was that time and that space was just so painful for me. I don't want to go back there. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so anytime I can get myself out of that, that's what I'm doing my best to do. You know what I'm saying? So um and I feel like I say, like, I feel like talking, speaking, letting people know, getting it out there that in our community, these things are going on. This type of stuff happens. And you can only do all that you can do. And once you do all that you can do in a situation, like, you can't hold yourself in a
Accountable.
space, right? You can't hold your space there because you got to move on. I have my other two sons are grown, they're older, and they've been on their own for a while. My daughter is still in my house, so I really had to focus on that. She was about to graduate, she's about to go to college, all of those type of things, you know what I'm saying? So I had to mentally put myself in a mind space of saying, well, this is what I have to get done, now. You know what I'm saying? He's gone. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't change it. I can't go back. Can't rewind time. I can't do any of that. So I do my best now to stay in the moment of taking care of the people that I have access to. I'm thankful that he has a son that I can pour my love into for him. You feel me? So I think I'm doing my best. You know what I'm saying? I'm always doing my best. People out or always ask you, hey, are you okay? Nah, I'm really not okay, but I'm doing my best. You know what I'm saying? Because, every day I could hear a song, or it could just be a thought, or I could in my head hear his voice say, Mama, I love you. And that might give me a moment, you know what I'm saying? So I just kind of go with it, you know what I'm saying? And as long as I can see progression in myself, and I don't see myself being stagnant, and I don't see myself being stuck or getting stuck in a space or a mind space, then I think I'm doing okay. I think I'm doing my best. That is, I'm giving my best at that time in those moments.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. You just got to keep on living. For Veronica and Drika, do y'all believe when dealing with depression and anxiety, do y'all believe medication is the first resort or the last resort?
Sometimes it's the first resort. It deals with the serotonin. It's sometimes it's just a chemical imbalance, and maybe that chemical imbalance is causing us to go through these issues that we're going to these the state of depression. Some people like my oldest daughter, the therapist recommended that she get on Zoloft. She was dealing with postpartum depression. But then I was able to recognize some signs, but being as a mother, telling her it's okay to take it. She's always like, "Mom, look, I'm not one of those mothers that say, hey, that's a crazy pill."
Right.
Cliff, you had mentioned back with the ADD medication. My son, my baby boy, was placed on an ADD medication because he had seizure disorder. So in order for him to counteract what his brain was doing on the seizure medication, they had to add the stimulant, the ADD stimulant, to help his brain process what was going on. But the school system, what they ended up doing was like, it was, oh, they saw ADD medication, and automatically assumed they tried to label him. But as a mother and being able to be, that voice for him, to be his advocate is for as a nurse and as well as a parent, no, nah, this is not what's going to happen. But to answer your question, the medication, sometimes the medications are needed, but sometimes diet can play a role in how we react to things too.
Absolutely.
You have a lot of the sugars that we have in the foods. We have, the foods are processed. It's a lot of things that can play a
Contribute.
part into depression. My brother-in-law and I had this, he can't stand McDonald's for nothing. He said, "Man, I ate a McDonald's burger one day." And he said, "Me and my kids," he said he felt literally depressed. He's like, just like sleepy, just, his whole demeanor and mood change. And I say, it's the foods that we put in our body as well that can even determine how we're going to overcome something or how we're gonna see something. So if I had a choice, and if it's severe depression, I would say, get on that medication, stabilize yourself enough to where you can see clearly, you can think clearly, nothing is clouding your space, and then begin to, of course, underneath the direction of the physician, begin to wean yourself off of the medication after you have found other ways of coping, if that makes sense. Just don't go cold turkey off of your medication.
Definitely. It makes sense. And for me personally, I've taken, I want to say it's Trazodone, amitriptyline, Wellbutrin, and all of them messed me up. For me, it felt like I was worse.
Weight gain
on the medication.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like weight gain. I'm feeling more. I don't detach.
Depressed.
I'm tired, depressed, even more depressed than all that. Anxiety is on 50. So I'm like, that's when I asked, is it medication the first or, first part or second party? Because I try to teach people other methods of dealing with depression and anxiety. Like Tamika mentioned, exercising, meditating, throwing myself into certain projects. And even my kids, I have boys, throwing myself into them to kind of keep me out of that depressive state.
Right.
Veronica, you have family members. And let me back up. We can't help everybody, right?
Right.
Can't help everybody. Can't save everybody.